Hey everyone, my guests for this video are Thorn,
Hey.
Zulu,
Hello.
and Ads.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about dynamic events. I'll start by explaining what dynamic events are. Dynamic events are random challenges that appear all over the world of Guild Wars 2. They can range from collecting items to killing creatures. When a dynamic event is failed or completed, every person who participated in that dynamic event gets EXP, Karma, and Gold. There are 3 different tiers of the reward you can get: Bronze, Silver, and Gold. Bronze giving the less amount of EXP, Karma, and Gold giving the most.
Hey guys, it's the next level of dynamic events are made events, which are basically 5 to 20 dynamic events chained together in either in a straight line or in branches. There can be more than 2. There can be 2 or more made events in each zone. So there, of course, like some zones have 3, and I don't think I've seen any with 4 yet. The only main difference you'll actually notice in a meta event is that it stays on your dynamic event pop-up on the side, like it'll say "Pop is dormant" or it'll say something else like that. There's quite a few examples of these, and what examples have you guys seen?
I'll start this. One of the chain events would be the Shadow Behemoth in like the Beetle? No, it's not Beetleton. It's Queensdale.
Queensdale,
yeah.
Yeah, in the swamp. And the first part of it will be like the swamp is vacant, like there's nothing happening. And then the next level is there's some portals that spawn around the swamp, and you have to go kill the portals. And then once the portals are dead, you run into the swamp, and it will tell you what's going on next. And you'll usually see this, if you didn't switch your interface around, on about the top right under your minimap, I think was the top right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah.
Till he switches the menu.
Above.
It's on the bottom now.
Yeah. So you'll go and kill those portals, and then inside the swamp some portals will spawn. Go kill some enemies, and then your screen will zoom out, and it's like, oh my gosh! And this giant shadow like just blows out of the water, and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna rape you all. And then you like, there's little mini dynamic events inside the boss fight. Like, it will say, destroy these 3 portals. And so you're trying to kill these portals while the Shadow Behemoth is dropping these giant AoE bombs on you. And it's a fun time. Like, they'll be spawning veteran Ataexes and little shadow guys. And then once you... I don't think there's any other, like, ones that give chests afterwards, but after you kill a Shadow Behemoth, it gives you a chest, which you can get some pretty nice loot out of. Like, in level 15 zone, you're getting like level 32 loot, and they're pretty nice.
Yeah, that's what I got. It's the only one I've seen with it that has a chest drop. But when I first did that dynamic event, it was ridiculous because I hadn't done any of the previous parts. I was just walking along, going through the swamp, and then suddenly out of nowhere, my screen zooms out, and I've got this huge behemoth in front of me. It was pretty damn amazing.
Also on that, the drops are always going to be tailored to your level or lower to the level of the zone.
Yeah, the only exception I've seen to that is when you kill the Shadow Behemoth, everything was around your level except a level 35-ish gem.
I got 2 of those gems, I think, actually, for not artifice, jewel craft or profession.
You can just put it onto your weapons if they have a free slot.
It's not the ones that it's not a weapon mod or item mod. It's an actual ingredient for the profession.
Oh, really?
Yes,
yeah.
I received 2 of them, and they were green quality. So.
Oh, I'm gonna need to go check out Jewel Crafter sometime. And that's my example of it. Does anyone else have any?
Isn't the Frostworm for the Norn area also on that event?
Yeah, that would be a chain.
And then it goes into killing the tornado guy and his wacky friends.
Yeah, the shaman. It's the shaman in the 15 to 25. No, not even 15 to 25 zone?
It's the starting zone.
I think it's the starting
No,
zone.
it's the starter zone.
In the top part of it, in the middle to the east. That's where the final
Yep.
event is with the shaman.
Yeah.
The
I
final
remember
event.
that one.
The final event has you fight him, and then he's got like 2 different groups that come in on your flanks, and you got to kill them, and then go back to kill him.
He makes giant
Yeah,
like
those are really
whirlwinds
great.
and stuff. That one also zooms out.
Right. That
Does
one
it?
also has something to do with some big blue portal things, I think.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of portals.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of
Those
portals.
portals.
Alright, so basically these also have some effects on the area, and Adam/ads will cover that.
Yeah, it's sort of player versus environment. The environmental effects of dynamic events is pretty like epic. I mean, dynamic events in its own on their own haven't really been in any other game, not in any other MMO either. But these Guild Wars 2 dynamic events go even further, and they actually affect the whole some of the like accessible parts of Guild Wars 2. Like, for example, the one that I think of the most is in the char 15 to 25 zone. I think it's a meta event, and it's basically after the dynamic event is complete. Once you've pushed the forces back, I think it's about 4 different like parts. It opens up a portal, which anyone can go in it at any time, and it's pretty much like a mini dungeon of sorts. But with this dungeon, it's not actually instanced. It's just everyone can go in and everyone shares it. So it's sort of like a dungeon type dynamic event. But it still has like all the complexities of a dungeon where you have to get loads of different types of, like, you have to get rocks and throw it at this ice or something. It's pretty crazy, and there's all sorts of like underwater things in there as well, and the boss and some great loot at the end as well.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
It's in the top corner, and I believe
Yes,
you're
plateau.
protecting. You're going around clearing out enemies from around. What is it, like a volcano kind of thing?
Is it?
yeah.
Is that the Flame
It's
Temple
clearing
one?
out the flame
Yeah, that's the Flame Temple.
Legion.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
That
this
would-
portal that you're talking about at the end, it actually takes you to a place that's on the map that you cannot open the door for, that I know of. But you can leave out that door later on at your own free will. So if you're looking at the map, it's the meta ends up in the top right of that zone, and then the portal will take you, I believe, northwest, right by the water's edge, where you do the poisoned water.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like this little pool in a way.
dynamic thing.
Plenty of-
Yeah,
one
I
of
know
the
that one.
effects it has.
Plenty of veterans and champions. And if I remember right, you go down in there, and there's these bunch of chests, and you can actually pick up these rifles to kill these ghosts with, or something like that. And then there's like something going on in there. I think they're like underwater flamethrowers or some crazy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like an
But
ice door that you have to
There was
flamethrower down.
I think I got to the point where there was a door, and it was talking about something having so many eyes, and the only thing I could think of were all the flame traps that were around in the underwater area, but we didn't know how to do anything.
Me and Thorn got into that like one time. We got pretty much on
about
What
it.
Yeah.
accident,
you
really.
have to do is you
These
have
air
to
There's like
bubbles.
quite
get
a
the
confusing
buff.
puzzle.
Yeah,
How
these
to do
air
it.
bubbles would come out, or these enemies would come out. So you're opening all these sarcophagus, and then you're just trying to figure out this puzzle.
And in the start of that,
Basically,
like,
what you have
I just remember going down and getting killed.
to do is
I thought it was
go
pretty
to the
good.
torch,
Down there was pretty tough to kill.
talk
Because
to it, interact.
everyone's trying to talk at once and no one talks at all. Yeah, but like these little air bubbles pop out, and you need to kind of like direct these little ice things to hit like little faces to make it so they won't spit fire anymore. And then like you can pick up heads and like a catapult, and you shoot it and you drown a room, which lets it so you go into a different door. And that's as far as we got, because Thorn was like, it was just me and him. And he was like, if we go farther, I know how to solve this puzzle. And if we go farther, then we're probably going to die, because there's like these giant underwater bosses, and we just get obliterated from them.
Yeah, so basically with the torches, what you had to do, you took the buff from the torches, the icy torches, and then you would pop up the what that did was that when you got hit by a projectile, it would explode, and also it would heal you. And what you would do with that is you would go to the coffins that would spawn a bubble, shoot a projectile at it, the bubble would shoot it back at you, it would hit you, blow up, and destroy the flame turret thing. And once you did that, you had to do it for all 8, and they had a respawn timer, so you were going against the clock, and you had to get all 8 shut time to open the gate. And if someone made it to 8, they can open it for the people on the other side. And then after that, you had a champion boss, and then some chests.
That's awesome.
This was all done like as a dynamic event as well. It wasn't really a dungeon. You have to party up and like accept the dungeon and go in like that. You could just go in whenever you wanted.
Yeah, and I also forgot, there's technically a part after that room. Earlier in the dungeon, you get a sword from this room, and when you got the sword, you had to carry it around, and the sword was like a pickup item. It stayed in your hands, and it gave you a bar of skills, but the skills did not do any damage. So basically, you would be down 1 man, and the sword you had to keep till after that room to open another door to the champion. So that's kind of like annoying, but I don't know.
Alright.
But it's awesome because they took all that time to make this, like, these puzzles that we'd have to figure out. It's like Legend of Zelda to me.
On dynamic events like affecting the environment again, I think even though these like big dungeons affect the environment, there are just like little small changes just to towns and things like that. Almost every dynamic event has an effect, like because the dynamics events swing both ways. You can either push back the enemy, or they can push you back. You can actually end up losing towns and losing like merchants and people in the town, or at least you can lose some form of like ground within it. So actually participating in these dynamic events helps quite a bit, and it is in your interest, because you could just think, oh, I don't really want to do it, I'd just rather get on with the different like personal story or something. But then you would suffer because you'd have all these different dynamic events coming back and hitting you in the face.
And it might turn out that, like, for your personal story, you need to get to a place in the actual zone, and if that waypoint is contested, you're going to be running a little bit.
Exactly.
Quick note on how that specific dynamic event, the one with the dungeon that we spoke about with the Flame Legion, how it affects the zone. The northeastern part of the zone is like a volcano, like you said, and it was basically like the flaming forest in Guild Wars 1. You had the like little flaming leaves falling down and everything, and once you had pushed them back into the dungeon, those flaming leaves would go away, and the dark sky would go away, and it would become like sunlight again, and the waypoint that was there would no longer be contested. So that's the actual effects on the map.
Alright, yeah.
I want to try that one day, like, experience it.
Alright, moving on.
Alright, well, I'll pick up this next part. So, like I said earlier, you can get bronze, silver, and gold, and the best way to get gold in these dynamic events is just participating in them. Like, if you're in a collection dynamic event where this person wants you to pick up berries in this little orchard, like, if you just go run up, turn in 1 berry, chances are you're not going to get gold, and you're going to suffer from it, because that's karma you didn't get, that's gold you didn't get, that's EXP you didn't get. And if you take like 5 berries over there, you still might not get gold, but sometimes you will. And if it's like
9 times out of 10 though, if you just sit there collecting your berries in your own time, if there's a lot of people doing it, though, I believe the timer is increased.
you kind of cut out, Zulu.
Doing it.
You cut out there, Zulu.
Alright, you picked it back up, though.
The timer is, I believe it's increased for the amount of people participating in the event. So at the end, there is a little grace period to turn in whatever leftover item collected that you had, items for the event.
Yeah, sort of like an extra little window for any people, any stragglers.
I found myself having a gold almost every time if I just kept collecting until like if I notice there's a lot of people doing it, just keep collecting. If you're like, only a couple people are doing it, feel free to turn in as you want. But if you really want to go, the more people that are doing it, they're going to be turning in. It's going to be done a lot faster. So try and get your hands on as many as you can. Wait till that grace period goes, and then go and turn it in.
Yeah, I'm really happy I did that, like, in a way to make it so Zerging would not destroy the dynamic events. Like, it gives you, I'd say, a good, 40 seconds after you've actually finished it, and it says 40 seconds until the dynamic event is finished, and you have all that 40 seconds to make up for the grapes or whatever it was that you didn't get. A minute? Well, that's even better.
Yeah, it's a minute flat.
Alright.
And the same thing goes for, dynamic events where you're killing things. Usually it'll be, the Centaur Morale, and you just go kill the Centaurs. There's no grace period in this one, but there's a pretty good amount of Centaurs, and I'm guessing the more people that are in the area, the slower the morale will go down.
The more you have to kill.
For those kill ones, what I found was a good idea. If you're with a group and you're doing it, tag everything. Do at least a couple hundred damage to everything. It's usually in your benefit to be that guy that's starting every mob and pulling in. Granted, you don't want everybody doing that because then you can easily get overrun. But I just felt a lot easier to get golds and stuff like that if you're at least damaging everything.
Yeah, I think the way it works is that you at least have to have a form of damage on a mob, and you'll get the reward for it, like the point towards the killed mobs, as long as it's I think there might be a minimum amount of damage or a percentage health or something, but I definitely know there is that requirement.
And I've noticed in Guild Wars too, there's always different ways to finish dynamic events. Like in the one with the grapes, there were enemies running around, and I'm hoping that if you were killing the enemies to hurting the people grabbing the grapes, that you'd still get credit for the dynamic event for being that guy who is just helping the people. Or in a killing one, if you're, let's say you're an elementalist and you're running around healing people with your water magic, and if you're bringing people up, you still get points towards the dynamic event if you want to be that more passive, or in some cases the more aggressive person. If you want to be the killer in the collection, if you want to be the collection in the killer. Do you still get gold for those kind of things? I'm not sure about that.
I want to say you do, but yeah, I'm not sure either. Because I have been known to get bronze and things like that. Just randomly, I'll be walking along and I suddenly get a bronze reward for a dynamic event. And it turns out I think it was just because I had killed a mob on the way to where I was running. And that was progress towards a collecting thing or something like that. So I think just passively helping the group actually affect it.
Another example that's actually extremely early in the human zone is the first dynamic event is also a heart. There's a heart and there's dynamic events surrounding it, and the heart has different options of what you can do to complete it. But as far as dynamic events go, usually there's one, sometimes two, and rarely three ways to complete it. And from what I've seen, you're more likely to see the single ones, you have to do this, or you have to do this, you have to follow this guide to save this person, or you have to save this person yourself, etc.
I'm hoping they do give you credit for that kind of stuff. Sorry, Zulu.
No, he said was pretty much spot on. I love the fact that you can go through the game and literally choose how you want to complete the missions. The fact that there are multiple directions you can go with each one. So if you want to kill said number everything in every quest, you can do that, or you can be a little berry picker and pick berries or put fires out or whatever you want. You can basically make this game into Dynasty Warriors or Farmville or whatever you want.
Farmville, yeah.
That's a really good example of it, actually. So,
Alright, so
one of the bad things
move on
about
to
that
dynamic
was...
events and World War.
Oh no, I have one more thing to add. Like, during the betas, I'm pretty sure that, like, I'm almost positive it's going to get fixed. Like, there were times where you'd run into a dynamic event already in progress, you'd, like, just run in, touch a monster really quick with, like, an attack, and then leave. And then, about 5 minutes later, a gold pops onto your screen, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just ran in there and only hurt one person, I got gold? That's awesome. While this is extremely badass, it's not good, the way I feel it. The way I feel it is. Because I know it's like just some bug they're probably going to fix, but it was kind of undermining the people who were actually there for, let's say, the morale one. Like, they were there, like, just bashing at those centaurs to get that morale down. This one guy comes up, shoots somebody with an arrow, then runs away and gets gold. And that was happening a lot. And there was times where, like, it would be correct, and you'd hurry and run in, you'd get bronze, you'd get really low amount of karma, really low EXP, like, it would make you feel like, crap, why didn't I just stay there? Like, I'm going to be in the game anyway, that's going to give me a lot of EXP, I should just stay there, finish that dynamic event, and then, like, that renown heart's still going to be there when, like, you're done. So there's no reason to rush it. And that's just one thing that was happening around the betas that I'm almost positive they're going to be fixing. And so...
Yeah. I'd like to add on that, though.
Okay.
Something that I noticed quite frequently was if I went around and did all the dynamic events, I found that I was completing the heart quests during them. And you can literally, unless the time differences in the beta and the actual release are going to be a lot different or slower or faster, you can complete your dynamic events. You'll go back and you'll have barely anything left on your heart quest to finish out. The benefit to actually doing the heart quest and just leveling instead of just leveling off dynamic events, obviously the karma vendors, completion. I don't know if everybody knows this, but if you do every heart, get every waypoint, every skill challenge, and every point of interest in a map, you will be mailed a box with usually 3 random green quality items for completing out an entire zone, and usually about a gold.
Yeah.
Crap ton of
really
XP
good
as well.
reward. Yeah, you get loads of XP. I think that's a really good thing, though. I really enjoyed having the dynamic events in the same place as the hearts, because when I come across a heart, because I'm a completionist, I need to get 100% on everything. When I come across this next heart, I think, oh great, I've got to kill these guys again. But when there's a dynamic event, I thought, oh great, now I get bonus XP from killing these mobs in the dynamic event or collecting berries or whatever it is, and it's effectively like a double XP zone. So you're more inclined to
Adam, you cut out.
Involved in the dynamic event because it will get you like out at.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay, but yeah, I have no idea where I cut out, so I have no idea what I'm supposed to say.
I forgot as well. Well, blah blah blah. Things like
Beep-a-doop-a-doo.
So, while we're kind of on the topic of EXP, one thing I really like what Guild Wars did, which there has been in other games, but like they made it so you can't grind per se. Like the more you kill one enemy, the less EXP you get, and then you get like a kill streak bonus. Like if you go kill 10 centaurs, then you go kill 10 scale, then you go kill 10 wasps. You're getting a kill streak bonus, and like it gets more and more EXP, which just helps you level up a little bit faster. If you guys noticed that, I did. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So,
alright.
the next topic would be World v World dynamic events. Yeah. And one of the things that Euphoria, the guild that we're all part of, found is like, if you're just really bored and you wanted to stay in World v World and you wanted to level when there's like no combat going on, there's a thing that we did, you can call it cow running or dolyaking, either way. And it's just like, there's a dynamic event for protecting a dolyak as it walks between keeps.
It's the most dynamic event in the game.
Yeah, it's the best.
Oh yeah.
And so, pretty much the way that you did it when no one was attacking it was you just, the longer you're with that dolyak, like, the more better chance you have of getting gold. Like, I tried, because I was going to go AFK for a while, so I just sat on, like, a little corner where I would get the most, like, closeness to the dolyak for the most amount of time being AFK. And that entire time, when I was getting, like, a good 10 seconds of dolyak time that during just AFKing there. And I was getting no credit for dynamic events for that. So I can see that you, like, took the time into making it so, like, those dolyak.
Yeah,
they're good.
I could not bring myself to do that when there's still things in PE that I had not finished or completed. But I'm a little bit of a completionist. I couldn't sit there and do that.
I grinded 34 to 35 on that.
I basically went, because going into the second beta, I had basically every zone completed except the 25 to 35. They had done some resets on some skill points, so I had to go back and complete it for the completion. And then when I finished the Gandharan Fields with you and Zulu, Seymour and Hells, and I think it was Rayleigh, then I had nothing else to do except the dungeon PvE. So I just went to World v World, and even though there was nothing else to do, I would be dolyaking constantly because there was nothing else to do because it's beta. There wasn't enough people to actually have a resistance on our server. So
other examples of dynamic events in World v World is like defending a keep from attackers, defending a tower, and like attacking a tower or a keep. And how you got kind of more experience during these things was if you were there actually helping repel those attackers, like they break through your first gate and you're still fighting them off. One of the best things about that is like you have a lot of teammates there with a lot more like defendable positions. So even if you're dying, as long as like two of your guys can go down, as long as one of their guys gets killed, and you can just get back up. And eventually, if you're coordinated enough, you can push them out and then go on the offensive. And that's just really fun because like you'll blow like 5 hours and you won't even notice it because you're just going back and forth, siege weapons. Do you guys have any good examples of that?
well, this one time they attacked our keep. For the first time they attacked our keep in the whole beta, we were like, what the hell, they're attacking a keep. And we went there. They had a few siege weapons, catapult, ballista, arrow cart, and there were about 20 or 30 of them, and we weren't, not that we weren't organized, we were just, because we didn't know they were actually attacking something for real. Because what they would be doing is they would tag like one or two of the NPCs, and that would tell the people on the map they're attacking here, but they would actually go somewhere else. So anyways, we went there, they were attacking, took us about 10-15 minutes to push them back. We pushed them back to their tower, and then they pushed us back to the keep. We pushed back to the tower and took the tower. That lasted about, I'd say, a solid hour.
And it's a hellishly good time during it too. Did you have something to say, Adam?
Oh yeah, definitely. Some of the times in World v World, you can just sink hours and hours into it. I mean, like when we were just dollyacking, as you call it, just running back and forth, getting the supplies for the dolyak, getting the XP and everything like that, you can constantly be upgrading the towers and the keeps. And that was possibly the most amazing part of World v World for me, where we would just upgrade this one keep because we didn't have any attackers, we didn't really have any opponents because it's beta and the servers weren't balanced or anything. We were just upgrading this one keep until it was fully upgraded. It just looked amazing. And then when they did attack, they stood no chance because it was so fully upgraded. We had like such good defenses on it.
Yeah, we took like a few hours pimping that thing out. Thorn has a video of that on his channel, actually. That will be in the description below. But
that would be in the randoms video.
Oh. True. And then on top of like defending the keep, towers, and attacking, there's like kind of NPC like people. They're neutral to start. And if you go and like there's quaggins, if you can go like beat the hell out of these quaggins, they're on your team. And then they'll go and harass places, and you can go harass another place. So you can like spread them up. And then there's dynamic events after you've already captured the quaggins to help the quaggins build like the storm generator. And then once you build the storm generator, you have to help defend the storm generator from crates. And there's a lot of crates in World v World. People don't understand that. Like there are frickin' a lot of crates. And then that's as far as I've seen that like World v World chain event go on. Like I don't know what happens after you like help defend those from crate. I'm guessing like the quaggins have like some toga party or something on their little island.
I know. We didn't see it in beta because we actually were too busy going around. But if you actually help them with the power nodes around the island, we're talking about the quaggin and the not the Eternal Battlegrounds in the Borderlands.
Yeah.
If you help them with their power nodes, they will apparently, I haven't seen it, but they will strike lightning at your foes and summon healing rain on your allies. So I'm assuming it's going to be massive AoE and it's just going to help you capture keeps and towers, but we haven't seen it, so we can't tell.
Crap, that's awesome. I'm like, that's going to be quite the like actual fighting going on in the actual release of the game. Everyone's going to want to control those quaggins, and like you're going to be fighting crate two enemy nations at the same time, and then whoever has the quaggins on their side's going to have a little bit extra help. But dang, that sounds awesome.
There's a very similar one, like what you just said. The harpies and the I think the harpies and the Hylic, which are
the Hylic,
which are both in the Eternal Battlegrounds. You have like 3 progress bars for the 3 servers, and whoever helps them the most gets their help. And they actually spawn champions to attack towers and keeps, like champion mobs, which is just stupid in a good way.
That's awesome. So we're gonna have our like actual hands full during the actual release. Like, a little bit of backstory on what our guild did during the beta was like we got matched against servers who just could not withstand our force, and we captured the entire World v World map in 45 minutes. And
correction, they could not withstand our girth.
Yeah,
is what I meant to say.
And so we captured the entire map, and believe it or not, like if you capture an entire World v World map in about 45 minutes with like no resistance, you can get it like, I'm pretty sure Thorn got like level 43 to like 47 just from capturing these keeps. Or what levels did you get, Thorn, from that?
Well, that was the first takeover before the first reset, of course. It was kind of slow, and I only got from 32 to 35, which is still a decent amount, you know.
That's
but
awesome.
In the second takeover, I got from, I think it was 43 to 47 or 48.
So like World v World has benefits. Like if you want to just only level up in World v World, I don't think it's a good idea, but it could be. Like if you get enough Medals of Honor, you can go get that gear that you're not getting from PvE, and there's a chance that enemies might drop that gear. And there's skill points in World v World, they reset with the servers. And so there is a way you can thrive in World v World and only World v World. But
I don't think it's a terrible idea to level in there, but again, missing out on a lot of like lore if you care about lore, gear. The only thing you're going to be able to do is really go for the karma vendors and the PvP karma vendors. So really, it's just that gear progression if you're worried about it that much.
I guess it depends what your like the goals in Guild Wars 2 are. I mean, I know a lot of people that will do PvP and that's it. So World v World is good for that. I think structured PvP is the sort of generic PvP that everyone loves, with ranking systems and this like infinite amount of XP that you can get, which is, I think it's called glory instead of XP and things like that. But the great thing about World v World is you still have the PvP environment, but you also have dynamic events that you wouldn't miss out on. So you don't actually have to do any PvE stuff. You can still get the dynamic events. You can also get dungeons and things like that in World v World. Like, for example, that jumping puzzle that we all did.
Oh, yeah.
The way I see it right now is that there's PvE, there's World vs. World, which is PvP with your PvE character, and then there's a whole different thing there's structured PvP, which is kind of its own game in itself. You don't really have to have your character built up or anything. You just kind of pop in there, you throw your traits around where you want, your skills, you set them up how you want. And with that, it's like everybody's on an equal field for the most part. And then you just find out, like, oh, this guy obviously plays a lot. There's this giant glowing blue sword and this crazy flaming armor of death. And it's just all skins for armor and weapons.
Yeah. I think another reason why they separated it is because of the whole real life money situation. Because if anyone doesn't know, the way they're setting it up at the moment is you can exchange gems for gold, in-game gold. So obviously at a low exchange rate, and it'll be diminished quite a lot. But you can still essentially buy gold for the game, but it will be through Guild Wars 2. And now they will pick the big blue glowing weapon. It's because you've got all this glory and you've spent all that time. Whereas if someone's got a huge PvE weapon.
Yeah, I really like what they've been doing with it. So,
and even in structured, like, there's dynamic events in structured a little bit, like go kill the Savannah, but it's not really a dynamic event because it's not dynamic, but it's still in there. And then you have, like, the way I look at it is there's 3 sections of Guild Wars 2. There is PvE, which is the actual game. And then you have PvE/PvP, so a perfect mixture of them in World v World. And then you have the straight up PvP in structured. So they made it so even if you want to be that casual PvE guy, but with a little bit of PvP, you can go play World v World. And that's what you want. And then if you want to be that straight up PvP guy, you can go in structured. And then you can get tons of frickin' you look like a badass in structured. Or you can go and just go do PvE. And only PvE, which I don't really think would be a good idea. But if you want to do it, then you can. Like, they made it so every kind of MMO player can play this game. Because there's, like, usually you have that PvP scene, then you have that PvE scene, then you have the casual scene. And they made it so even a new MMO player can play Guild Wars 2. And there's, like, not even a tutorial, really, in Guild Wars 2. Like, they throw you in. Like, they throw you into the water without you knowing how to swim. And you have to learn on the fly. Like, in every zone you have that little, like, you're thrown in there and you don't know what to do. And a lot of people had a problem with that, but I feel like it makes you appreciate the game more. Like, it makes you
adapt to the game and learn it quickly.
Because you're usually, like, left with that tutorial, and you go finish the tutorial, like, they walk you through it, you're just in another MMO. In Guild Wars 2, they threw you in there, and they're like, hey, this is a new game. Like, you're gonna have to learn what to do, because this is not your usual MMO. And so, like, they're trying to form you into a Guild Wars 2 player in the start of the game. Like, you're already like, whoa, this isn't normal, I'm out of my comfort zone. And, like, you want to get back in that comfort zone, so you, like, go learn about your skills, go switch weapons, get new skills. And, like, that was one of my big problems when I first found out about Guild Wars 2. So I wasn't watching any videos, and I'm used to Guild Wars 1. I played Guild Wars 1 like a week after it came out. And I just kept playing all through the years. And, like, I'm used to having, like, sure, you don't have the 80 skill bar like you do in WoW. You have an 8 skill bar, but you have a ton of skills you can use. You can make your builds. And I felt like it was going to ruin it because you didn't have that access, like those extra skills. Like, you were just bound to what your weapon had. And there are ways to make it so, like, there's different skills within your skills. Like, skillception. Like, if someone throws down a combo field, like a fire field, and then you throw an axe through it. Like, you just achieved the skill burning axe or something. It's like, dang, awesome.
Oh yeah, combo fields are great. I still don't really know how they work that much, but they're awesome.
They boost damage, everything. Alright, well, moving on. Oh, do you want to say something really quick, Adam?
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, because combo fields, you have two parts to it. You've got like the field, and then you've got the combo finisher, which is like a projectile, and there's all these different types. It's quite confusing at first, but it adds like a good part of teamwork in, I think, if you can learn to use it to your benefit.
It definitely. You can turn around a World v World fight, you can turn around a PvE fight. And so the next subject of our discussion, and the final one, is your daily and monthly events. I don't want to call them dynamic events because they're not really dynamic, but they're there and they're good. Like, did you guys feel like the daily and monthly events were too easy? Because there were people who finished the monthly events in like the 5 days they had in beta. So do you think they need to make these harder, or do you feel like they're fine the way they are?
I'll start. I think, I don't know, I think because they're monthly and daily events, I think they're alright the way they are. I mean, like, you've obviously got to take into account the fact that we were relatively low level zones, while we were quite high levels. I mean, Thorn got up to 50 something. We were in relatively low zones, so I'm not sure if these events like scale to your level, or obviously scale to the zone or something like that, but they might get harder just in general, and also because they're monthly and daily events, you don't want to make them too hard, because otherwise some like newer players or just the average player might find it difficult to kill however many level 18 mobs within a day. They might not have enough time, so making it simpler where someone can come on and just do the daily events will help them a lot, because maybe that's just what they do within a day, that maybe that's what they just have time for.
Going on with that, Thorn, you can go.
Regarding the monthly events, I think they should be a lot bigger, honestly, because during beta, I basically finished monthly halfway in the second beta, except the salvaging, which I could have easily done through the trading post and just bought a shit ton of unsalvaged stuff. So the dailies I feel are fine because it doesn't feel like a grind, but the monthly, the fact that you can achieve it in 5 days, not even like 4 days, is kind of, I don't know, it's not enough.
Like, I understand that we were playing like extremely large amount of hours, where normally you wouldn't play that often or that much. But even when you're doing that, I feel like even if you're playing that hard, a casual player and a normal player should only be able to finish like a monthly after like 20 days. And a casual player like around 25. Like, instead like chop down 100 trees, you can do that in like an hour if you're trying pretty hard. And so I don't feel like they gave us enough challenge with the monthly to really make us feel like, hey, I just accomplished that. I'm so proud of myself. Like in Guild Wars 1, if you achieve Guam, like, you got Guam. Like, you did something, you can pat yourself on the back. I kind of feel like the monthly is going to be that kind of Guam. They need to make it so, like, we get that feeling. Like, hey, I just did the monthly dynamic event. Have you guys finished it yet? And then, like, none of your friends are like, no, I haven't yet. Is it, like, worth doing? And you're like, hell yeah, it is. Because, like, it's supposed to make you feel good. Like, a daily, yeah, you just finished a daily. You get 30 of those a month. But a month, there's 12 months a year. So you want, like, those 12 months, those monthlies, to be like, yeah, I just finished a monthly. Don't you guys feel like that?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but I'm not sure if it's comparable to Guam, because like with that, it's pretty much the end game of Guild Wars 1. That's it. You're done. You've pretty much maxed everything. Whereas a monthly, I don't know if it should be that serious. It could be just like a little thing on the side. I don't know. I do think we did them extremely quickly, though. That being said, but I'm not sure if they should be as hard as you're sort of saying that they should be. I don't know. It all really depends on like what the later stages of the game are like.
Very true. I think I did like compare it to something extremely higher than it needs to be. Like compare it to Guam wasn't the right thing. And Thorin, did you have something to say?
Yeah, as for titles, like I've heard a few people say like Guild Wars 2 titles will be easy to come by. Like you'll get your first title really easily. Like, and wow, you could get a title, which was just it was a dungeon. You had to kill some drakes, and it was there. You go, you have a title in like I don't know, an hour, not even. But in Guild Wars 2, I played a crap ton, and I still didn't get close to a title. Like some of them, you have to get to the last tier, and that's pretty much like a good like week's play if you just want to focus on that to get that one title.
Yeah, they definitely made it so when you accomplish something, you know you accomplished something. It's not like the title Wolf Hunter. You killed 50 wolves. It's like, no. Like, you killed like 1,000 billion wolves, and now you're a wolf hunter.
Yeah, I think as well you've got to take into account Guild Wars 2. It's going to have expansions, isn't it? As far as I'm concerned, I think it probably will. And it's going to be out for a long time. And when you compare it to Guild Wars 1, I didn't play early in Guild Wars 1, but the amount of titles that you get, I mean, I'm not sure even when titles were introduced into the game, but these sorts of things are going to come after all the expansions are out, I reckon, the really high-end ones. So to begin with, I think getting earlier titles won't involve as much as it did with Guild Wars 1.
Alright, does anyone have any other topics to add? Want to cover really quick? Take that as a note. Alright, well, thank you guys for listening. This is our really long, I think this is like an hour and 20 minutes discussion about like dynamic events, what we thought about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please share it with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be linking everyone in this Let's Talk's YouTube channels. Please go to their channels, watch their videos. They're really good guys, and I hope you enjoy it. If you're looking for a guild in Guild Wars 2, hit us up. It's euphoriaguild.eu. I'll put that in the description too. We'll make you welcome. Like, it's a good group of guys. Do you guys want to say anything about that?
No, that's pretty much it.
Alright, well, thank you so very much for watching this, and I hope you just keep freaking our channels. Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you.
Late.
Bye.